Mike Moore Media, the first place to hear Rockingham County news and information.
On this edition of Rocket in Reidsville, I'll be talking to Jeff Garstka, Economic Development Director for the City of Reidsville. Our program is sponsored by Carpino Investments, a leader of community redevelopment in the North Carolina Piedmont. CarpinoInvestments.com. Jeff, you always have good things to talk about. Let's start with Farmina.
Hey, Mike, good morning. What a great place to start. For those who haven't heard yet, and I feel like it's probably pretty widely publicized because we got some great media coverage, was the announcement of Farmina Pet Foods. It's an Italian-based company. This is their first venture in North America. This is going to be kind of a U.S. headquarters and pet food production, dry food. So it's really, when you talk to these folks, they try to simplify and say it's really just a bakery is right about all we're doing, baking some grains and some additives and the other ingredients. We're talking high-end pet food. Their flavors range from wild boar and pomegranate to cod and orange and all these really cool flavors that I'm sure everybody's pet would just love. Mm-hmm. It was just such an exciting project for us. We worked with the county economic development as well as with the state partnership, and the Department of Commerce obviously put some money in the deal, and Duke Energy was a good partner. The project was led by a site selection consulting firm, and they were kind of our interface for most of it. But we had a visit with these folks back, right before the pandemic came across. We met out at the site at the industrial park. As I was joking at the announcement that we had, that our first visit we had handshakes and donuts and a lot of laughs. Yeah. And then they came back and visited later in the summer, and everybody was standing 20 feet away looking at this piece of property, and it was just a different vibe, but they were still able to come over and kind of make their final selection, and we were super fortunate to be selected. We took a picture of the whole team on site with the first visit, and we just felt, when I was talking with Lee Cochran, my counterpart at the County Economic Development, we said, we're going to win this one. This just feels really good. And, of course, we always say that, but, it felt right. Their culture really blends well with our culture here. It's kind of a family culture, as you know, with Team Reidsville, and we just couldn't be happier. They're going to bring 129 new jobs. Average pay is about $10,000 more than the county average wage. So we're in the upper $40,000 per year range for the jobs. They're going to put about $28 million investment into it between the building and all their equipment. And that would be now the fourth international company at that business park. And I would say, I was talking with somebody the other day, we have no less than 8 internationally owned companies in Reidsville. And this individual said, well, you need to check on, you can go ahead and claim per capita, you may have more than anybody in the state.
Wow.
And I said, I don't know. That's probably, I'm not sure that's something we can track real easily, but we've got to be way up there.
Sure, yeah. Well, how exciting is that, though, when these international companies come to Reidsville?
It's a lot of folks in my business, we talk a lot about, foreign direct investment. And as you know, when we always have the shop local, buy local campaigns, but when you have an influx of money from other cities, states, and countries, that's truly new money coming into your community in boosting your tax base through foreign dollars, and it's just exciting to be able to look at the flavor of our industries and say that we have that many international companies, because a lot of communities don't, and a lot of communities our size don't. Mm-hmm. I don't know of many, so it is really exciting. It's kind of a thrill. You work with domestic companies, and they're all fun to work with, but you meet these folks from Italy, and they fly over, and you have good conversation. You get to know them a little bit, and it's just a different feeling.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. I know you're looking at the county level and Team Reidsville and all the hard work that goes into making something like this happen. I think it's just absolutely wonderful. So we're glad to have Farmina right here in Rockingham County and in Reidsville. And thank you for the good news. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
We appreciate it. It was a lot. It was a fun announcement. we had to do it virtually, of course, and so we set up a Zoom meeting, and fortunate to have Secretary of Commerce Tony Copeland and Senator Phil Berger, company representatives here and also in Italy. We all did it from our own silos, but it flowed just like a normal announcement would. It was really, really good.
I was very impressed watching that. It was well done and very professional, as I wouldn't expect anything less from Team Reidsville.
Well, yeah, we volunteered the city to be the lead on the mechanics of it, and I'll tell you, our IT director, Rhonda Wheeler, spent no less than 2 weeks straight just trying to iron out the kinks and testing it, and a lot of work went into the back end that people don't see. They see the announcement, it went off really well, and everybody says great job, but boy, the amount of work that our team put into just hosting the meeting, Judy Yarborough and others, it was a team effort. It was really it was stressful.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Well, it came across just great. And just the back thing of that you were just talking about, it looks like Georgia and South Carolina lost out on this one. And you think about those people, they worked awfully hard too to make that happen.
They did, and it's another comment I made in my remarks was, we're up competing against two of the top states in the country for economic development. In fact, Site Selection magazine does annual rankings, business climate rankings every year, and North Carolina and Georgia tied for first. I think it's the first time they've ever had a tie at the top. Mm-hmm. And so we're competing against another number one team, and South Carolina is always perennially in the top five, as is North Carolina, Georgia, Texas, places like that. So, it's like going out to the national championship game and beating the best team in the country. That feels good too.
Oh yeah.
And you don't win them all.
No.
But I know they put their best foot forward. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, it's been a good year among all of the crazy things going on, but and we're looking ahead to 2021 and maybe kind of some predictions, projections, some things to think about.
Well, it's been a long year, as you stated. Everybody, this community has, as we've talked about, and I think on the last show, really, that rallied around one another, get through it together, and here we are, closing in on the end of the year. There's some light at the end of the tunnel with vaccines, and business has not slowed down much from our standpoint. I just saw data 15, 20 minutes ago from the county that they kind of recapped the year in economic development for Rockingham County, and I think it was close to $900 million of new capital investment in the year 2020.
Yeah.
And they built a little pie chart that showed about 75 to 80% of the entire capital investment over the last decade happened this year.
Wow.
So I didn't know that, and that floored me, and that's a great story to tell, that in the worst of times, we're still doing okay, and we're very fortunate to be able to claim things like that. But looking ahead, we've talked a lot about the Depot District. I will make a plug that any of your listeners want to join a virtual community meeting tonight. They can reach out to me, and I'll send them a link. Again, my number is 336-347-2307. That's going to start at 6 p.m. We'll have our design consultants are going to lead the meeting, talk about our plans for the district, and just try to get community feedback, input, and hopefully buy-in from the surrounding property owners, and just try to be transparent about what we're trying to do. We don't want to step on anybody's toes and create something that they don't appreciate. And one of the most important parts of this process, from all the firms we interviewed, they said you've got to engage the community, and whether they buy into it or not, at least you've given them an opportunity to speak. And so that to us was very important, reaching out to our community in, whether it's the police or, what have you. We try to engage our citizens as much as we can in these types of situations. So we're excited about having that meeting. Be happy to sign anybody up for it, and they can tune in and participate. But that study, we're looking at that study being wrapped up sometime in the first quarter. We've been having meetings with developers just to kind of get their ideas and feedback, and what challenges we have, and kind of what would it take for you to do a project in this new district. And we're getting some really good ideas, and I think it's going to be a big focus for us in 21. Industrial development has got to be a big focus for us. we were fortunate to have Farmina find a piece of land that they liked to build a new facility. If they came in and said, we want to find an existing building, we don't want to build something, and Reidsville was their only area they wanted to be in North Carolina, they would have been in South Carolina or Georgia by now, because I don't have a whole lot of industrial buildings on the market, and that's a result of success. And everybody says, well, that's a great problem to have, but the key word is problem. It's not my nature to turn away business opportunities when they come along. So we're talking with some folks about possibly building some speculative industrial space. It's a risky proposition. It always is, and you hear horror stories about spec buildings going up in communities that just sit there for decades and nothing ever happens. So it is risky, but we're looking ahead to not just 21, but 31 and 41. When you look at strategically finding more land to expand your industrial parks, I mean the Reidsville Industrial Park, which is now coming to fruition 20 years after the land was assembled. So you're looking at the long future when you're making these kind of public investments. And so we've got our strategy hat on along with the county and trying to figure out where we go next.
Yeah, nothing happens short term anymore, does it?
No, but when a project comes along and you win one, everybody thinks it was short term.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They get used to it.
Yeah. Well, it's encouraging. It's exciting to see what has happened this year, and looking ahead to not only next year, as you said, but years down the road. So I'm excited with you.
You're right, and this vaccine, and I know it's going to take some time. As normal is not going to happen overnight. We'll be probably pretty far into 21 before we really start feeling comfortable and opening things up 100%. But it's got to be good news for the folks that bought the theater. There's some hope there that when they open it early next year, that they may be able to have more patrons coming in than would be allowed today. The brewery obviously opening in the first quarter next year. People can come out and enjoy that more than they normally would in today's environment. Mm-hmm. So, the stars are kind of aligning for us going into a new year, and I think everybody's really excited about turning the calendar over to 21. And but like we've said, 20 was a great year for us for economic development. So we're very fortunate.
Yeah. Well, we're fortunate to have you right there as Economic Development Director for the city of Reidsville, and Team Reidsville in place, making it happen and into the new year and beyond. Jeff, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Always nice to talk with you and share the good news. And once again, if anybody wants to join our meeting at 6 o'clock tonight, they can call me at my office, 336-347-2307. I'll be here all day.
Get your input from everyone on the Depot District and see what's going on there with you're talking about the residents, the citizens. They're part of it. They're part of Team Reidsville.
They absolutely are. That's why we started it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Jeff. All the best. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
You too, Mike. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Jeff Garstka, always good to talk to him with the good news from economic development for the city of Reidsville. Our program is sponsored by Carpino Investments, a leader of community redevelopment in the North Carolina Piedmont, doing some really good things around the county, an impressive residential portfolio and restaurant management. Michael, Terry, Kim, they're an integral part of what's happening in Rockingham County now and in the years to come. Get more information on them at carpinoinvestments.com. And you can get more information about some of the things Jeff is talking about at rocketinreidsville.com. rocketinreidsville.com. And again, his direct number, if you'd like to be in on that community virtual meeting tonight on the Depot District, 336-347-2307.